It is true, isn't it? I heard somebody say, this is true. Yes, and it's interesting because I worked for Equifax in the late 80s, early 90s, and I worked for different areas of the company for different managers, and I had a completely different experience, right? You would think I worked for a completely different company. So that's the power of really understanding this. So again, the 5 dysfunctions you are familiar with and have probably experienced, but the flip side then, of course, is the foundation of trust, and really looking at then productive conflict, making sure that we're getting issues out on the table. And he talks about ideological conflict, really engaging in ideas, because if you don't do that, you don't really get buy-in, right? You get compliance, you get people going through the motions, but secretly waiting for that plan to fail because I thought it was a stupid idea anyway, right? You see that happen sometimes. And then, they can really commit to decisions because there is clarity around what is it that you're supposed to achieve as a team, and you get people all aligned and across departments aligned if you do this well. And then again, the key is holding one another accountable, not just the boss. And we've seen some of that. Some of you I've had some opportunities to work with over the years, and we've seen where sometimes that doesn't happen and how you can work through it. And of course, ultimately, the focus is to achieve whatever the result is. So I should say that this ideally works with an intact team that really is interdependent and has some result that they're trying to achieve, because as you all know, many times in organizations there are quote-unquote teams that really are work groups that don't necessarily really have a common goal. And so this is not for that, basically. Okay, so I'm going to ask you to do a little exercise with me, and I am going to give you a prize. Okay, this is where I'll draw later, but this is where you'll actually have to earn your prize. Okay, so while developing this process, Wiley asked over 4,000 people what their experience with the 5 behaviors has been. So in a moment, I'm going to put some questions up, and I'm going to ask you to, you can just jot it down on a piece of scrap paper or something. What percentage of the group, out of 100%, do you think said yes to the question, okay? And so how it's going to work is, if you guessed 84 and the right answer was 80, then you write down 4. You can write down the difference. If you guessed 76 and the answer was 80, you're going to write down 4. Very good. Okay, math test early in the morning, right? So no negative numbers, nothing like that, okay? But just the difference, and then you're going to add the total. There are 5 questions, and then whoever gets the lowest score is going to win something, all right?